Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I am Andy Ruther, coming to you live from the Smut Studio in Venice Beach, California, with my co-host, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
And we have someone sitting between us today, Prano.
I know. Yeah, this couch, this is the fullest this couch has ever been.
Ryan Grant, welcome back, man.
What's up, boss? What's going on, fellas?
Former NFL running back, Notre Dame Fighting Irish running back, Ryan Grant. We had you on. A couple months ago.
Yeah.
We're so excited to have you back. We have so much to talk to you about. Obviously, we've been following your social media more closely since we had you on the show, and we're getting. I feel like I really have a sense of who you are after interviewing you, and now following you, and like we really feel like we've been trying to get you back on for a while. That you're the perfect person to talk about some of the stuff that's going on in the NFL and in sports today. So thank you for joining us in the Smut Shack.
Of course, I'm glad to be back. I don't know if I'm perfect. Hopefully, I can give some foolish thoughts on some things that are going on.
But you'll have. We just talked briefly before we started the show, walking up here. Like, you can talk. Like, you don't have any deals or things going on with TV, which I like. I was saying to you, a lot of these guys might not be able to fully explain or elaborate on their actual opinions on shit right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the most part, that's usually what it is. And I understand it's fear-based, and it's basically pick and choosing. You know, you pick and choose the battles in regards to what's priority. Like, everybody has an opinion on what's going on, right or wrong. Like, they have an opinion, and you know, some people they believe that their opinion, what's the point, really doesn't hold any value. And if they're in a space, you know, with a TV company or a job or whatever it may be, it's not really worth it to them.
Yeah,
the conversation is going to happen regardless, and if they feel like it's not really, you know, going to do anything, really just them voicing their opinion, why would they? And I understand it. I'm not like, I don't judge from any space. I don't really have an issue saying for the most part how I feel in that space, because I do actually want to walk a clear line. And to me, I want people to know where I stand, and I want to know where other people stand. That's really how the type of person I am. So yeah, I'll shoot you straight.
Yeah, well, you know, when I think about you as just even your career in the NFL, I think not just the guys that are on TV now, but you sort of see it with players after they've come out of the league. You can kind of tell where they're going to line up. Like guys who have these super long careers, Hall of Fame style careers, they're still playing the game because they're like, oh, I want my jacket, I got to play the press right. And then you got the guys 1 or 2 years in the league who maybe didn't get paid, and there's this anger toward everybody, like, oh, you know, I got screwed. You had, I'm
kind of middle ground.
Yeah, you didn't have a 15-year NFL career, but you had a nice NFL career. You got a big contract. You had big games. You had big moments in the NFL. So I think you're right there in the middle. And that's why I said to Andy, we had to have you on, because I have been really struggling. I'm a huge NFL fan, have been my whole life. I'm really struggling with what to do right now, specifically with this anthem situation. It's one of, in my opinion, the worst things I've ever seen in professional sports. And I've been a professional sports fan my whole life, in terms of just, you know, trying to curb the free speech of you know, American citizens on a national level, people that are on TV. And to me, it's really hard. So what I wanted to have you do is come in and answer a question that I've been trying to get like a solid answer on for a while. If you were still playing in the NFL today, if you're a running back, you know, and you're in the league and you're exactly who you are, and I'm out there going, you know what? I do not support what they're doing with this anthem rule and with how they're treating the players. As a player out there, what do you want me as the fan to do? Do I boycott? Do I watch, but I'm vocal about it on social media? Like,
honestly, I want you to do whatever makes you feel good and helps you sleep at night. Like, because it's gonna happen regardless. The game's gonna happen. I will say this: players are not playing for you. We appreciate you as fans. We appreciate the service you bring. We appreciate the value that you bring. But we're not playing for you. They would play football if there was 0 people in the stands.
Right. And I guess that's part of my question is, like, you know, I understand that as a fan. I don't think a lot of fans necessarily understand that, and I do understand that, and I guess my thing is I want to support you guys because the way NFL players especially put their body, their livelihood on the line, I appreciate that, and I go like, hey, I want to support your cause. I just don't know the most effective way of doing it. You're like, oh, you boycott, you're taking money out of my pocket. You watch, you're helping the system along.
Yeah, I think that it has put you in this dichotomy because it's so much bigger than you.
Yeah.
That really, what can you actually do? Yeah. And you can, through conversation, you can influence because you might give somebody a perspective who just in dialogue around like, hey, people know you're a big fan. So automatically people expect you in these conversations, in these platforms to pick a side that you can't be a fan of the NFL and still say, whoa, that's fucked up. Like people can't fathom the fact that you can still be, enjoy something, but still speak on how it's wrong what they're doing because they have this sense of blinded loyalty. And, it's the same conversation around the country that people act like you're not a patriot if you talk on all the shitty stuff that America does. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. Like, it's ridiculous. As a parent, if I can only talk about the good things my child does, that doesn't mean I'm just loyal to my child. It means I'm stupid. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's dangerous. Like it's a very dangerous thought process because that.
And you see those children out there who have that parent, and they're running wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. And their parents are always saying, "No, my Johnny's this or my Sally's this or whatever it is." It's just stupid, and it's a very dangerous thought process. So, I appreciate the fact that you're a fan, and how could you not like? It's that sport is a fabric of this country. But being able to recognize and take a stance and say, whoa, like, okay, there are aspects about it that, I just don't rock with. Like, okay, cool. I want to be, I like this, but where do I fall in this now? It's the conversation you can have with that person who's full go gun ho about what they need to do this, they need to do that regarding the anthem or whatever it may be. Just give your experience and say, hey man, I'm with you. I'm not against football by any means.
Yeah.
I was like, but you do understand that the business aspect of it kind of oversteps the morality, the human aspect of it. And that's what happens with institutions. Like, at the end of the day, this is a micro for everything else you see. Like, and the aspect of a business. So when you recognize that the employers really, how much do they actually care about the employees?
Right. It seems like in the NFL, a lot less than even most
You're starting
companies.
to see a lot, like it's putting things in perspective. They don't devalue them enough to not pay them, of course.
But they devalue
not to guarantee their money. Exactly.
Yeah.
So they don't see enough value in their product.
But that's the thing that I always like to bring up. I actually was explaining this at a date last night, and
that's probably a terrible date.
Yeah. Humble brag.
I'm just letting you know, like, if you're having to explain this on a date, either she is the diehard sports fanatic, or she's
crazy. She's from Wisconsin, so diehard.
Oh shit!
And
Okay,
I actually told her you were coming on the show today, and
then you might have upped your date.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that might have helped
RG,
a little bit, or trashed it.
No, it definitely helped. She of course knew you, and it helped. But she was trying like. I was basically saying, look, I understand, because the argument always comes back about with the national anthem. I understand that basically they can say whatever they want to the players because you work for the team. You work for your employers, just like any of us who ever work for anybody. But I was basically explaining to her, you don't have this problem, and I want to see if you agree, in the NBA, because in the NBA, Joe and I always say, in our opinion, they let their players have opinions. They let their players wear Black Lives Matter. My point is, they let them have a political voice. So their players, in response, just stand for the national anthem. Does that make sense? Like it's not as much of an issue because their players have freedom to express their opinions. But in the NFL, I think it's a problem because they don't have that freedom because the owners are more out of touch.
Yeah, there's a different model in many regards with the NBA. First of all, their union is way stronger. way stronger than ours. And it's not a knock on the NFL's union, on the players' union. It's just that the structure of everything is very different. When you look at, there are players in the NBA that are bigger than the NBA, that they could literally, if you took LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Steph Curry, and said, hey, we're going to go start a league in Brazil.
Yeah.
People are going to find a way to try and watch that and go to see that. You know why? Because all you need is 10 guys to start a basketball league and a basketball and a guy that understands rules ref-wise. You don't actually need to play a basketball game and to set up a game that people will watch. And the reason why you see it, because there are leagues, there are pro-am leagues all over. The Drew League, Rucker League, all these leagues that are known for years that amateurs and pros come and play. And it doesn't take that much. Like, in the big picture from the production-wise, it takes a little more. But to set up a pickup game, it's nothing. And people will always come and watch. Those games are always packed in MLB. To play a football game, to create a football game, it takes a lot of bodies. It takes a lot of people, a lot of individuals. Referee, it's a lot. You don't see guys playing pickup football. There's a lot that comes into play with that. So they recognize just in that alone, there's value in the players know oh, I know who I am because I know that I can do this without you. Not too many football players actually believe that they can actually create a football game and play football without that person. They need that person to do what I do. So what happens is it devalues them, and they believe oh, my value's not as much because I do need you. And really, if you look at it, at the end of the day, yes, as big as the NFL is, Mommy? I'm not that, Mommy. Who am I? Why? Daddy. Yeah. What's up? What's up?
That's our new intern.
My new intern is my daughter. What's up, bub? Take your headphones off. Take your headphones off. Headphones off. Oh, yeah. So I think that in regards to the league, most guys, and I think I said this before, they don't actually know their value. So they're cattle. People don't understand. The NFL only exists because of the product.
Right.
And when I mean that it only exists, yes, that's it. I'm oversimplifying it, but without the players, it's just an idea. It doesn't mean anything. There's no.
It's amazing how you look around this country. It's amazing how much of it is oh, these players should, they should stand up because they live in a country where they can make $1 million playing football. It's no. They created a league
you don't
where you
don't
can make
understand
$1 million
that. You
football.
don't understand that. We're really good at what we do.
Yeah.
The best of the best.
Yeah. So people, it's so weird that people can't understand this, that you cannot pull guys off the street. I know people think that and do what we do. You can't. It's been tried. They tried to do it before. It doesn't work. Yeah. The reason why the NFL is so popular is because the product we put out is very high.
Sure.
It's a high-end product. We are the Louis Vuitton, Gucci of what we do. They're elite, and they're of every sport across the board is very, very, very elite. It is what it is. And when you think about if guys knew their value and knew oh, you can't do this without me, and could stand, in solidarity and unified for a cause, I'm telling you, they could really do it. But that's with anything, I think I saw something the other day where, and I don't even know, I have no idea contextually where this was or anything, but I guess in some factory they fired 2 Hispanic workers. And like I said, it could have been for good reason. I have no idea. But all the other Hispanic workers walked out of work. And it was damn, I guarantee you that affected something.
Sure.
Just off of straight numbers.
Yeah.
And regardless of people, we just don't. I remember in the league when we had our lockout, which again, lockout to just inform people, they locked the doors on us. We didn't strike. They told us we couldn't come to work. People wanted to come to work, but it was because we were making too much money. they realized, oh, you guys are on this scale. You're making too much money. We wanted to scale things back. So they locked us out. We signed an agreement, like they always talk about. We signed a contract, collective bargaining agreement, and they were like, no, we're going to tear it up. It's up right now. And now we're going to lock the doors on you. So once again, it's one of that cognitive dissonance, like how hypocritical about, the top down of, well, you have a contract, you need to do this, you need to abide by this. I'm like, it's not how things work.
That's what, there's so much like terrible opinions out there, and that Andy brought up the NBA before. Everybody goes, the NBA has a rule where you have to stand for the anthem because they had an issue with a guy in the 90s, and they made a rule after that. But at the same time, with a collective bargaining agreement, they go, hey, okay, we'll sign up for that, but contracts are guaranteed.
Yeah, it's a little
if
different.
If I shred my knee, I'm not unemployable.
Yeah,
like. I'm sure that is something that is being discussed right now by the NFLPA. It's like, well, what are we willing to back off of this for? But the owners are not willing to negotiate. And what I've noticed, what's amazing about the NFL, and tell me if you agree with this, I feel like just in the last 10, 12 years, even since you were in the league, it seems like they've really limited the number of people that are actually paying good money. Like there's 2 or 3 or 4 guys on every team.
That's actually was the major deal of the new CBA that we signed. I apologize to a lot of young guys because I said you're not going to actually see how it affects you early on, but you will later on because it's a young league now because they don't have to pay. They'll just release older guys.
Yeah.
And what happened when you made that young rookie scale, that wage scale, it slotted everything. It made things a lot easier for you. The league's going to make a lot of money. And I actually had this conversation with with Charles Woodson in the thing when he was like, no, it's actually good. Like, guys are going to make more money. Blah, blah, blah. I said, I've never understood how is this actually a good CBA when we're actually taking less money.
Yeah.
It doesn't make, like, when have we the only reason why we're in this conversation is around the money. That's the main conversation. I was like, but now we're taking less money. You're trying to tell me that this is a good situation. I said, I know both sides. I came in as a free agent, no money. And then I happened to, build myself up and I got a big contract, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I changed my role. I was like, but I understand both sides. I'm not that. I'm that right now, but I'm where you are right now. I was like, but Wood, it's only good for you.
Right.
And Clay Matthews and Aaron Rodgers. I was like, literally 3 guys on the team and the 3 faces. I was like, even the guys who in the moment are making big money, the moment they overprice themselves, that's a wrap. They're cut.
Yeah, because they can get cut.
Yeah, they can cut, and then they can pay 3 young dudes. I was like, that's always how it's gonna be. To some degree, I was like, but now we just made it even easier for them. And they also, tried to create, the owners and the management tried to create this argument of veterans versus rookies. And it really wasn't. It was stupid because what it did was, at that point in time, the rookies were making so much money. These rookie contracts, these rookie quarterback contracts were mega. RG3, Matt Ryan, they were just insane. And these guys hadn't played any downs. And my thing was, cool. One has nothing to do with the other. If they want to pay, them paying that much money has nothing to do with them paying me an X amount of money. Like, I don't want to take money out of their pocket because to say like, oh, you take money out of their pocket, you're going to give it to me. Because I already know what it is. There's no guarantee that they take money out of their pocket, that they're going to give it to us. They'll just say, no, we're going to take money out of their pocket, and then we're still not going to give you that. Or they'll say like, but what they were trying to do is make it the conversation around like, oh, well, these young guys are taking money from you. I'm like, nah, I know how much money the NFL is being made.
Right.
There's more than enough money for you to pay them that and pay me even more. To me, let them set that standard. Because if you pay them X, you got to pay me X times Y. And what happened was you got people to actually say they need to be making less. And I'm like, this is so dumb. Let them make whatever the hell they want to make. And now they're slated. They're not making whatever they make. But you see it's much lower. And you see how it's affected the other guys. So, yeah, you're totally right.
I mean, I think I look at the NFL, and it's sort of a microcosm of the country. It's like the 1% gets richer,
It's definitely a micro.
And the
in all aspects.
Guys are nothing. But then, everybody, as we go back to the anthem thing, everybody's complaining about the anthem. It's like, oh, if these guys cared, they'd all kneel. I'm like, if you're on your rookie contract and they can replace you if you get injured, if you fumble, Why would you ever kneel? Why would you ever?
No,
why would you ever?
and this is what, you're absolutely right. And this is where the conversation around like values and priorities, because I know a lot of guys who value where Kaepernick is coming from. They understand, they're in the same exact boat in conversation, but they can't prioritize that based upon their life, based upon what they value in regards to ball, what they love. They're looking for an opportunity. And I get it. Now, like I said, it's because individual. They know individually they can be cut. They're not going to cut a whole team.
Right.
And when people are able to recognize their value, I said this right along. If half the quarterbacks in the league said, cool, guess what? We're not showing up until you guys figure out this whole situation with the anthem, which is a distraction at the end of the day nowadays, police brutality, all the conversations that really we need to have a conversation about. If we're not showing up, guess what? It would go number one to the priority list.
Yeah, I mean, that's
actually one.
Like, you could get it done with, five.
I'm just saying.
If Brady, Rodgers,
exactly.
Odell,
It wouldn't
J.J.
even take
Watt,
all that.
like,
but if all the top guys said,
J.J.
we're just
Watt
not going to show up.
Yeah.
One Sunday.
Yeah.
How long did that referee strike last?
Yeah.
How long? You know why?
That one Seattle play.
One game.
Yeah.
1 week of games, of trash games.
Awful games.
Referees.
Yeah.
Letting you know, like, oh, they're elite in just calling a
That's
game.
a good point. That's a good
It lasted a week.
Forgot about that. That's
and
right.
they were like, oh, we got to get this done. They came back so fast to the table to work it out because they knew, like, bad product, bad money.
Now, we had Sean Merriman on the show a couple weeks ago,
cool.
and he
just signed a
bare knuckles boxing.
Like
what's he doing now? I saw that.
He's, what? Interestingly enough, I can understand it because we're warriors, man.
Yeah.
And when you leave the game, there's an aspect of that you lose, and sometimes you're okay with it for a little while. Like I went through, I wanted nothing to do with it, and he's probably been out maybe around the same time mine, and there's just something, like, a lot of us, we use our body. There's a sense of physicality that we're used to using our body.
Yeah.
To do things and to, like, run into, like, just so I can understand. I used to always tell my family, I was like, oh, if I wasn't a football player, I'd probably be a fighter, and to some degree.
Yeah.
Just because I can appreciate using my body. So it was like, oh, it's crazy. Like, I ain't trying to get hit in the face anymore.
So I brought up Sean because I asked him, and he was a defensive player, but I'd love to have your opinion too. You just said that the anthem thing, you said it's a distraction at this point. When you're in a locker room, how much of the stuff that the media refers to as a distraction actually distracts you as a player? Whether it be a quarterback,
small amount. Yeah. When I meant distraction, I just meant a distraction away from the the point of it.
Right.
Like,
sure.
Nobody gives a shit about.
But
the
everybody,
anthem.
Everybody brings up like, oh, they don't want Colin Kaepernick in the locker room because he's a distraction. The players don't want him there. The guys don't want him there.
I don't know any players. Not to say there aren't.
Yeah.
I just haven't heard that from players in regards to that aspect. I'm sure that, yes, there are players that don't want it around, not because it's a distraction, because they just don't want to be associated with it in any regard. They just rather would focus. So I guess it would be a distraction. But I think that, yes, I do think that ownership doesn't want it, because if you look at from ownership aspects, and you got to understand business. I own a business before it's a team, before it's a sport. So from that aspect, is it financially smart to bring Kaepernick onto a team? No, it's not. It is what it is. When you look at supporters for the most part, and it's not financially smart. Is it ethically, morally smart? Depends on which way you lie. That could go both ways as well.
My argument against that would be, take a team like the Houston Texans last year.
Yeah.
They were a wholly different team when Deshaun Watson was on the field.
Absolutely.
As opposed to when Tom Savage was on the field.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson goes down. They were talking. There are teams like, these guys might be a contender. He goes down.
And now
they go 4-12.
Yeah, one of the worst things.
When you have financially bringing a Colin Kaepernick situation into that situation, sure, maybe 10% of the fans stop coming, but doesn't that give you significantly more chance of making a playoffs, getting a playoff home game,
which
getting
equals more
TV?
money?
Yeah, okay, I guess so. I don't know if
How many
the
people
way.
stop
So I
running?
think that no. Well, I don't see. It's the thing. I don't know to the detail of. I think Cap. Of course, everybody knows Cap should be in the NFL. He's better than at least 60%. I don't know how he's what shape and how he's doing right now, but I know he's better than a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL.
Can you just repeat that one more time as a former NFL running back for all the people out there who are like, he's washed, he's not in the league because he stinks.
Kaepernick Colin absolutely should be in the NFL, should be on a roster. He from a ability aspect, he deserves to be on a roster. Like, absolutely. I think that he's a franchise quarterback at this point in time? No, strictly ball wise. But I also think that when you look at from a business stance, yeah, they might say it's not worth it. How much is he going to play? So he doesn't want to be a backup. Understandably, like I don't think anybody wants to be a backup. Maybe some running backs towards the end of their career, they don't want to get hit. But listen, I was down with that. But he wants a particular role. See, my thing is that he wants it to look a certain way. And the thing about the NFL, like, nobody owes you shit. This is a privatized, it used to be public, but now, you know what I mean? Like, this is a corporation that they don't owe you anything. Like, you want to play in the NFL, you can play football anywhere. You can go on the street and just go, like, you want to play in the NFL, then yes, there's going to be some things, and nothing's fair. What's fair? It's not about fair. My thing is that the conversation around what Kaepernick's doing, yes, I'm sure he wants to play football. And in the same breath, you do understand that you're still playing with white, older men who have this mentality to many degrees. And not to say that, like, it's all of them by any means, but it's still some of the stuff that Jerry Jones says is absurd.
Yeah.
And if you literally change around some words, it's slave master.
I saw this tweet. I thought it was so fun. It's funny, but it's sad at the same time. It was basically saying, if Jerry Jones lived in slavery plantation days, he'd have more slaves than any other plantation owners, which was, again, it was just one of those tweets where it was like, it's hitting a point. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's so fucked up or whatever. But what you're saying exactly is he doesn't stand for anything. Like
he stands for money.
That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, Jerry Jones just stands for money. And what you're saying is actually that's always been my knock, Ryan, on the NFL, is that if you look at the other leagues, the NFL is basically all old white men.
Yeah.
And that's all they care about. My point is, a Mark Cuban type doesn't exist in the NFL. Who wants to win, whose players like him. That type of owner just doesn't exist. And to me, I think that's the main problem that's happening now, is that it's all old white money, oil money.
Yeah, but that's
who can afford NFL teams, I guess.
Yeah,
sure.
That's where it came from. And what's up? Still, you're killing me. You want to draw something? Okay, well, perfect. Let's see if they have,
We do. We have so much paper, and you have so many markers.
My guy. All right.
What do I got over there? Do I got like highlighters?
You got all types of stuff, though. Listen, she does draw and all that.
You want to take all these, and then you can do whichever ones you like?
And take one pen still so you can write with the pen as well if you want to write something. Okay. All right.
Here, you got everything you need. Yeah, look at this.
Good job. Okay. Go for it, Steely.
Come on. You don't need those?
Just leave, just in case, though.
You want, they're over here, okay? You have fun. You have all the paper you need. All right?
You know how to get the top off? All right. Good job. All right, Bubba. Thank you, sweetie. Yeah, to go back with
But I'm
Jerry.
just saying, like, you just see, I guess I should say, obviously, all the leagues have
it is
billionaires who are owning teams. But my point is, I just think in other leagues, it's not like the owners. When I think NFL, I just think old, angry white guys. Like, get off my lawn, right? Like, that's what that's what I think when I think of the owners. I don't, and I'm not saying that there aren't the old, angry white guys in the NBA.
Yeah, they are. They're there. Trust.
That's what I'm saying. Of course they're there. But I think I'm right, and everybody would agree. Like when they show, like even take here in LA, the Clippers. Like Steve Ballmer's a lunatic, and we always joke about him, but he legitimately cares. You see him, when they show him.
I don't even know.
Okay, so he owns the Clippers. He actually cares about the team and winning.
Yeah.
Dude, when I look at Jerry Jones or Arthur Blank or any of these guys, and they just show in their suits on the sideline, all those dudes care about is making money. Like a lot of them, like Joe was talking about the Texans. Like if you don't care about your team winning games and it's all about money, basically fuck you as an owner. Because you hate the fans and you also hate the players.
Yeah, I think Jerry wants to win.
His way.
Yeah, because I think winning is, in many regards is seen as power. Winning is seen as Jerry believes, and in many rights, he is a winner in life. You know what I mean?
Right.
In business, Jerry runs Dallas.
Yeah.
Runs Dallas. Like, and people don't know to what degree, but it's really when you have. I have friends that live in Dallas on many different fronts from. In many different economic states, and they all talk about how it's Jerry's world. It is. When we went down there for the Super Bowl, it was like, oh, Jerry was making announcements about the city of Dallas and what was going on. It was like, damn, this guy really does. No, Jerry, literally Jerry.
Yeah.
And that was when they had the big snowstorm, big ice storm, or whatever. Jerry was the one keeping people abreast on what was happening and everything like that. So I think that. Yeah, that whole conversation around, like, I think he does want to win games because he knows what that Dallas Cowboys are, quote unquote, America's team, a part of America, of course, and when they win, a lot of good things happen. But it's like a boastful aspect of it. It's like, like almost like that. It's like some aspect of the Cowboy, and I don't have be honest with you, I don't have a problem with let Jerry be whoever the fuck Jerry be, because Jerry's showing you exactly who he is on many fronts. He showed it in regards to the other owners when they have owner conversations and they sit down in those owner meetings, and Jerry's like, fuck that, revenue sharing is dead. I'm not doing none of that shit, yo. I'm not sharing with the Jaguars who back then weren't winning a fucking game. You know what I mean?
Well, what's amazing about Jerry and a lot of the owners is how they'll openly, like, he was going to the mats over Ezekiel Elliott's suspension. I'm going to take it to the Supreme Court. You're not going to have a guy suspended just because he beat up his girlfriend or pulled down their shirt in public. But then when he has players that go, hey, I just want to be able to say what I like, he's like, oh no, that's not going to happen on my watch. It's weird how he'll just jump from one side of the fence to the other, how it suits him.
Yeah, of course. It's not good for bottom line.
Right.
You can't have a bunch of people that you gotta have, for most machines to work, you gotta have workers, and workers need to put their head down and work. When you look up and say, hey, wait a minute, why are we doing this? Oh shit, that's a problem.
But for Jerry, again, this is what always amazes me about whether it's Jerry Jones or any of these NFL owners. And I've always said, at the end of the day, we're all hypocrites. Like we're all hypocrites. But with these guys, Ryan, it's like take Jerry Jones with what's going on with the anthem and everything. Does he not see, like, okay, take somebody like Greg Hardy. You went and you signed Greg Hardy. He's got all this baggage, a lot of bad shit. You sign him, and you have no problem signing him. And again, do what you want. I don't care. But then you have an issue with a player saying, I'm not going to stand for the national anthem. My point is, how does he not see how ridiculous that looks? Or how does
he doesn't give a shit?
But how does that?
No, that's he doesn't actually give a shit. He doesn't care. And that's what people want others to care, and they want others to, hey, don't you actually give a fuck about my feelings? You don't see me over here, and they're like, no, I don't. And instead of being like, oh, you know what? Cool, I appreciate that. I'm just gonna stay away from you because I don't want to participate in that. The fuck. I'm not comfortable. What happens is that they still do participate and then they just get frustrated. But it's only because they're not comfortable with whatever they have going on enough to say, you know what, I'm good. I'm so good that I don't care what the hell you have product-wise. I'm not fucking with you. Right. And if enough people said, you know what, I love football.
Yeah.
But I'm so disgusted with the aspect of what the NFL is doing that I just don't have to watch football. I'm good. I have enough football in my memories and enough. I'm good, man. I'm not fucking with it.
I want to we can wrap up this stuff because we have so much we want to talk to you about.
Cool.
You don't need to be the NFL. The former.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, and none of this shit's gonna. People are still gonna watch.
But
the NFL.
But what I'd like to ask you, just in wrapping up that sort of topic, is from an outsider that was once an insider, from somebody who knows what these players are going through, that still has people that you've even played with that are still in the league. And, there's certainly a brotherhood of the NFL players.
Yeah.
What's your hope in how this all wraps up in the end? Is it, hey, maybe we can swing this as, something more beneficial in the next CBA? Or I'd like to see the owners just say, hey, guys, do whatever you want. Wear Hawaiian shirts during the anthem and lay down in tiki chairs and just have a drink. Do whatever you want. Like, how do you hope it ends up?
I haven't really given too much thought to how I hope it ends, because I don't actually see it changing that much. The one side may concede, but I don't actually see them really giving into the bigger picture of why they actually did this. If I hear one more person talk about veterans and disrespecting the flag, I'm like, what are you talking about? I actually saw a video of Jerry Jones. This is what's crazy. And I don't mean to go back to this. Like, one of my former coaches in the NFL, I'm not going to say any names because I love this guy, sent me a video of one of the reporters from Dallas. I don't know if he's a beat writer or whatever, but he's definitely one of the reporters talking about the conversation that Jerry Jones said that, they just said that guys need to stand the line. I guess that towing the line.
Yeah.
Anybody who's not going to stand for the anthem will not be a Dallas Cowboy. Like hard line, you will not be playing for the Dallas Cowboys. And they were like, but you can beat your wife, you can do this, you can do that, you can be a drunk, you can do blah, 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 blah. You can do all this, but no, you do not stand. And then they show a video of him actually during the anthem with his hat on.
Yeah, I saw
and then
that.
somebody even
and
said
then
to
somebody
him,
said to him, and he was like, I don't care. Which lets you know, whatever, man. This shit doesn't mean a fucking thing, man. It's like, who gives a shit? Like, this dude doesn't care about any of that shit. And that's the thing. Most people don't. So they're full of shit. And I said this before. You know who I see who's outside of football games all the time? Veterans. Homeless veterans. Every single stadium they're outside of. They get walked by everybody. People walk by and don't give a shit about them. They don't pay any attention to any of them. They don't give them. There's no thank you for your services. And I mean, these are homeless. They might have amputees, whatever it may be. It's so funny. I took a couple years ago, and when I say funny, I mean sad. I took a friend of ours, two little boys, to a game, a Dolphins Rams game. And it was around all, talking and everything like that. And I'm just watching, and I'm seeing all these people walk right by them, right before the anthem hits. And I'm like, these people don't give a shit. And I'm like, everybody's full of shit, man. They don't actually care. I was like, because at the heart of it, there's a responsibility. And it's like, no, you want to be able to put blame on somebody else. Like, how many people during a game in their house stand up? No.
Nobody.
They don't even stop talking.
Right.
You might actually change the channel if they're showing it.
Right. If they're showing the anthem, you'd be like, let me go over and get my fantasy update
might
real
actually
quick.
And if you recognize that no players give a shit about that, we didn't know. Who cares? It was just extra time. We're thinking about what we need to do. But if you think about, cool, why they do this? Damn, they said that there's stuff going on that clearly whatever's going on with them is important enough for them to do this. Cool. Well, let me ask you about this because I don't have the same experience. And that's what happens. Like, your loyalty, your pride for anything is based upon a particular experience that you had. So if somebody says, yo, I'm not loyal to that person, that you're like, what? This person was great to me. They probably had a different experience than you did with that person. So if people of color or all these football players are saying, yo, I'm kneeling because of this, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
It's probably because they had an experience with X, Y, and Z.
Well, it's amazing though.
It's like
because,
common, you would think it's common sense and pretty basic, but of course it's not. But until we can come to an understanding of, yo, this is it, and this is what happens when you hold property rights above human rights, then of course things are gonna be in skew.
And it's crazy that people can't look outside of the box and outside of their own worldview. Obviously, I am not a black man in America, right? But not only has this issue brought that, the anthem thing brought that to the forefront for all of us to think about, but that's not even considered by me when I think about that this is wrong. I'm more going, I don't care if these guys are kneeling because they're saying, I hate the United States of America. That's the point of living here. You're allowed to do whatever you want. We claim freedom. If these guys go, hey, we're kneeling because we want the country to fail, well, that's up to you, man. It's America. Kneel for whatever you want. Sit for whatever you want. And the idea that there's people saying, no, I won't support guys being free. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. It is what it is. Everybody, I think people are boring. Yeah. I think people are.
You're right. They don't have anything going on in their life.
So I think that they don't. You're right. I don't think there's enough that they feel fulfilled in their world. This is why sports is so big.
Right.
And
literally why sports is so big.
But to me, it's all the same. It's the same type of person. It's the same type of issue. It's even though it has nothing to do with it. It's the same thing for two guys who want to get married. It's like, I always say this. How does that affect you? How does that affect you if Colin Kaepernick kneels? How does that affect you if two men want to get married? It's like the same thing. If it doesn't affect you personally, why do you care? Why,
because I don't know, man. I don't know. I tell you, yeah.
Two men get married.
Yeah, but
what, they gonna force me to marry a man? Are they gonna, people?
They're gonna force.
Dude, it's like. Well,
I guess everything I don't know, man. I guess it all. Yeah, if you have those thoughts, then
right?
At any point in time, you're like, oh, this is the beginning, man.
Right.
They're gonna start forcing me to do gay things. What? Like what? I don't know. If you believe that, yes, and I guess everything does have an agenda. But if you believe that that's where the direction the agenda is gonna go, then yes, you're gonna be. But if you look at this is why sports is not on the fringe. They're not pushing the fringe of like thought process. That the reason why entertainers and sports is so big is because people don't have enough things going on in their own world that they actually want to sit and be engulfed in. I've had conversations. It's the whole thought process around fans, which comes from fanatics, diehard fans for cities and teams, is so crazy to me that these people really are pissed. Their days are fucked up when certain things happen or don't happen with a team. Like, it'll fuck their world up.
Their emotions.
Yeah, like, fuck their life. Yeah.
By how many yards you get.
I do, or like a decision that's made.
Bears.
Just watch a draft.
Right.
And watch the reactions from people when they draft a player or don't draft a player.
That's a good point.
People are pissed or like made their day. I can't imagine what Buffalo Bills fans have been going through.
Right.
Those 4 years. Somebody needs to check the amount of suicides during those 4 years of those 4 Super Bowl losses.
Yeah.
Because I know that Buffalo's it's a prideful city. It's a small city in regards to in the big scope, but they're proud about their Bills. So when they were talking about moving them to Canada, it was like, what? How dare you? Blah 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 blah. And they haven't won shit in who knows how long.
Yeah,
whatever.
But
great
supportive fans,
but super supportive and die hard. So I can't imagine, and people really get pissed. I'm like, man, you can imagine, like, what that would do if they won. Literally the spirit, like what it would do for people. And so I recognize is that you can really, a lot of things can be controlled with winning and feeling good about who you are. Like it all plays a picture, man. I don't understand. I understand it. It's just so not a part of my world that it is what it is.
Well, last time you were here, we talked to a ton about the NFL, and we really glossed over your career at Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah. It's because it wasn't worthy of actually.
Well, what I want to, as a smooth sort of transition from this, like when I was thinking about saying, hey, I'm just not going to watch the NFL. I don't want to support this. I was like, oh, maybe I'll just get back into watching college football. And then I was like, oh, that's not really a whole lot of a better situation.
It's in many degrees, it's worse.
As an athlete, you went to a school that a lot of people, Notre Dame is known for, hey, they graduate a lot of their players, and I know a lot of Notre Dame haters, like the guy on your right over here, are like, oh, it's all bullshit. They're not getting any education more than anybody else. But
throwing me under the bus with that.
It's okay. I'd like to have a conversation about it. But you know what? Listen, I'm if you speak truth, I don't care. You can be KKK, man. If you say something truthful, I'm gonna be like, hey, man, he's right. But
what was that?
I will not to say you're a KKK by any means, but I would like to have hear your thoughts on that.
I don't think I said that about Notre Dame. My gripe about Notre Dame has been it's been more of the people, not even the players.
Okay.
Joe, that's been my main gripe. To be honest, my gripe
a lot of overrated talk.
I feel the teams are traditionally overrated.
Absolutely, sure. And absolutely.
Notre Dame's always in the top 10.
Always, but listen. I agree with you. I saw something today. Not today. Yesterday, I saw the top 20 or whatever top.
I think Notre Dame's 11.
And I was, whoa, threw me off. I was like, 11. Okay, yeah, it was like 11, and Michigan was 12, and I was like,
you guys always start top 15, top 20.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Good for them.
But a lot of my gripes has been it's a personal thing. It's I had a buddy who went there, so I would go up once a year for a game.
Okay,
so I've been up to South Bend a bunch. I've been up there 4 or 5 times. My gripe was always I felt like an elite. The student body was very acted like they were so much better, because I didn't go to Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's true. He's I'll tell you when there's a lie.
So I'm speaking the truth here.
Yeah, you're speaking the truth.
And then a lot of unattractive girls who I didn't appreciate the attitude.
Listen, hey, I'll tell you when you lie.
That's basically my points at Notre Dame.
No, and it's all true. We used to, even players at Notre Dame, there was, yes, I will say Notre Dame does not have the best looking student body. I don't think that people are going to Notre Dame because of that by any means.
Yeah.
Cold. By any means.
What was your overall experience there in terms of football, in terms of being a student, in terms of just being like a student athlete? Was it was it difficult to be an athlete and go through school there?
Oh, hold on. Before I speak on that, hold on. What's up, baby? No, for real. What's up? What's up, Mama? Well, why are you standing right there? What's going on? You're making us pause. The more time we pause, the longer it's going to take, baby.
It won't be that much longer because we'll talk a little college stuff and we'll probably wrap it up.
What's up? Yeah, but Bubba, we got to. I'm saying you're stopping us. So the longer you stop us, the longer it's going to take. Letting you know.
If you do one drawing, that'll be done.
Do a drawing and watch something on my phone, Bubba. You know how to do. I don't even know why. Listen, you know what's going to. What are you talking about? I got Sesame Street. I got all. Okay, you know what? That's fine. When we get in the car and you ask for my phone, I'll say, what? There's nothing on my phone. What are you talking about, Bubba? Not that one. Use the other one, baby. Yeah, it's not off. You know how to turn it on. Why are you acting like you want to turn my phone? Still, you just turned it on. What? Okay, I can't wait till we get in. Still, stop acting like you don't know how to use my phone. We're going to get home, and I'm going to be like, oh. All right. So.
With Notre Dame, somebody,
talking about
just
the
being
whole.
A student athlete in Notre Dame.
Yeah, so my experience at Notre Dame was interesting. Of course, football-wise, it didn't go the way I thought it would. My career, it started off pretty strong, and then it didn't go the way I thought it would. Team-wise, it didn't go the way I thought it would.
Who were you playing? Remind us. Who were you playing? Who were your coaches when you were there?
I had Bob Davie.
You had Ty Willingham?
Then I had Ty. I had my guy for 24 hours, O'Leary.
That's right.
Yeah, I was part of that whole storm. But and then I had Ty. And my senior year, Ty got fired. and then we were part of a committee that brought in Weiss. But so I didn't actually play for Weiss. But yeah, it wasn't football-wise what I thought it was going to be. On a host of areas, we didn't win as many games. I came from a program that won games in high school. So we didn't compete on that level the way I wanted to individually. I didn't think I developed the way I wanted to in my career. Didn't happen. Personal achievements. It was difficult to find balance as a student athlete, between the ball schedule and because I will say, to go to Notre Dame side, it is hard. Yeah, it's difficult. And
because
it's hard. So to find that balance, and you got to understand, when I was there, we weren't on a training table. Do you guys know what a training table is?
No.
So a training table in college is basically, it's like food. Like, so most football programs have their own, like, chef dining hall and everything like that because we're not on the same schedule with regular students.
Yeah.
Like, we have to eat.
Sure.
We have to eat better food and more, stuff like that. Yeah. So usually schools have their own dining room for athletes, for football players. And you can eat at whenever you want, different times because our schedule is different, blah, blah, blah. Notre Dame, we didn't have that. So
yeah, because Notre Dame's different. I know, right? Like you guys, like when you went there, a lot of schools have like the football dorm, the basketball dorm.
Nah, we live with everybody.
Yeah, you were just with the random Joe Schmo, right?
Yeah. So Notre Dame's whole, and it's changed over time. They're on the training table now, and they don't eat necessarily with the regular students. But Notre Dame, when I was there in the years before that, they used to do everything in their power to keep to keep the athletes like the student body. So they would actually give us less in many regards to even things out. And they were like, you are a student athlete, not an athlete, student athlete. So we ate with the regular students in the regular dining hall with a regular swipe card. And our dining hall was actually really strong. It was a good dining hall. But hours-wise, we would have to do it when we could.
Yeah.
In between practice and between class and everything like that. I would have to run to the dining hall after practice, after treatment. Literally, we would have to run to the dining hall to make sure we got there before it closed. When I'm like, are you kidding me? This is crazy that I have to run to eat, which is probably, outside of sleeping, the most important thing that I need to do with what I'm doing for my body. So, yeah, then we'd have what we call grab and go if we couldn't get, which is all the student body had. And grab and go was like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and like a little snack or something like that. And
which,
because
when you're a student athlete, when you're a football player, you need about 40 of to get through your day.
So what we could get, because we were a student athlete, we could get an extra half of a peanut. No, I'm serious. I'm saying it's dead serious. We could get an extra half. So you got to understand, we didn't do any of this. And then we had mandatory study hall after that.
Win any games.
No, listen. Remember when that I'm trying to remember who a couple years ago, the coach came out or a former player that basically was like, yo, the reason why Notre Dame's not going to win because they're not getting athletes and it's too hard.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that shit is truth. Every football player from Notre Dame, was like, oh, they're telling the truth. So when I went to Notre Dame, I remember I was really close. Rex Hogan was our recruiting coordinator. He might be with the Jets right now. And Rex was the best. He was with Chicago for a long time. He's a great guy, man. You guys like him a lot. I loved Rex. Rex used to tell us that, so if they were he said on average, if you take the top 100 players in the nation, Notre Dame would immediately have to cut off 50 of them.
Just from not being.
Just from they couldn't get into school.
And that's the thing.
Notre Dame's the only school that made me actually fill out the application process. I had to actually write a paper. I had to actually go through the whole thing.
So none of the other schools, Michigan, wherever you're looking at. None of that.
Nah. And I was a good student. Notre Dame didn't give a shit. They made me write out everything. Matter of fact, I didn't do mine. And 2 weeks before, I had already committed. And my coach called me and said, hey, did you fill out the, and I was like, nah, I didn't know we had to do it. He was like, oh yeah, you got to do that. So I had to actually write a paper, go through the process and all that. When I got there, they sat me down with the administration in front of I had a meeting with the administration, 4 people on the board, and they went over my transcripts from high school and went through every single grade, asked me about my grades, went through every single year, sophomore, freshman. I had a sophomore year where I went back to my public school, didn't do the best on particular, like in 2 classes. They asked me about that. What were you going through? what happened? You got a D in this class. And I was like, yeah. I said, I just moved, blah, 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 blah. And I said, and honestly, it was an honors class. And I was like, I don't even know how I got in that honors class. I was like, I've just never really been into this. And I was like, but if you see, I picked it up the next year. Oh, no, I had to do, this was Notre Dame. This was just for the interview process. On my visit. This is on my visit.
Yeah. So I guess the question begs then.
Why'd I go there?
And I know we talked about this last episode, but not just you. Why does anybody, because of the history, the tradition, because you know, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes.
Yeah.
I'm a high school kid. I'm a stud athlete like you are, one of the tops in the country. You can
it's
go
a real fantasy situation.
Yeah, this is something that would never happen on my unathletic white ass. But you can do that. You got all these schools and you still want to go. Like, what were I forget? Can you remind me?
I didn't want to go to Notre Dame.
Where else were you looking? Michigan,
right? Florida, Ohio State, Virginia, Georgia Tech,
and then you had Notre Dame.
It's funny how that works, like that.
Right?
Values and priorities. I could put things in perspective around what do I actually value and what do I want to prioritize right now. Okay, so I can easy. The year before they went to a BCS game. They had a young team and went to a BCS game. They lost to Oregon State. They got whooped by Oregon State. That's what Chad did. They had a squad.
It was that Erickson's team, right?
Yeah. And they had a squad of JUCO. They just mollywopped them. But it was a young squad. Cool. Lavecchio was the quarterback at that time, that young kid. I actually knew him from high school, blah, blah, blah. They had a really young team. Cool. So I'm like, all right. They went to a BCS game.
Yeah.
Young squad. We got a future. We're going to go. National contract. And at that point in time, having a national contract.
I mean, that's NBC every
big
week.
time. Yeah. So attention-wise.
Like
it's big.
All the eyes are there.
Now it's different because every college actually has their own network. So for me, everybody's on national stuff. It's not that big of a deal. But back then there was that.
That's right.
But even now, it's like there's the SEC network and there's whatever.
Yeah,
that was like the Notre Dame on NBC.
Exactly. That's what I said. So now it's not as big now because every team has it. Yeah. But back then, you knew every week you were going to be on national television. And Notre Dame played tough schedules. I will say that.
Yeah.
They are willing to do that. So you have that aspect. So for me, I'm looking, okay, cool, there's that. When I came in, every school basically told me I was going to be competing for a starting job or I was going to be a backup at some, like, coming into camp. They said, oh, no, we're going to let you compete to play as a freshman. I want to say compete for a starting job, but compete to play. Like, but we want you at least backup. All of them. And I was like, all right, that's cool. Notre Dame told me we got 3 backs that we like. We really like you too. We want you, but we already have 3 backs that are good. They had Julius Jones, Tony Fisher, and Terrence Howard. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm in a good set where I'm not like pressured. They want me to come and they're going to let me compete, but at the same time, I'm not pressured to do anything. And then when you look at the alumni and academics of Notre Dame, I figured it would. So there was a combination of things for me in regards to my career with Notre Dame that I literally said, you know what, in the big picture, it works out. I didn't actually plan on staying 4 years anyway.
Right.
And I told my family this, like, oh, I was a top 10 back in the nation. The combination of things really was like, you know what, I can make this work. And I can really realize, like, why I'm in it. Notre Dame to me was just like my high school. I went to a Catholic, all-white, all-boys high school. In my mind,
just like me.
There you go. Yeah. So in my mind, it was like, oh, this is just.
Wait, where'd you go?
Don Bosco Prep.
Okay. Yeah. I went to Cincinnati St. Xavier. Actually, did you play
Yeah,
with
you guys
Rocky?
play.
Did you play with Rocky Boyman?
Yeah.
Because he's 2 years above me.
Yeah, I played with Rocky.
Gotcha.
Rocky, you want to hear something crazy? When I first came in, my freshman year with Rocky was a thoroughbred. So one of the first people we saw was Rocky Bowman. He was a senior.
Yeah.
And we walk in, and Rocky was enormous. He had legs, honestly, and I don't mean to say like a horse.
Yeah.
Like just super stout, like redhead.
Yeah.
All-American, white-looking bull, like white guy.
For sure.
And I'm like, holy shit. He wasn't necessarily talking to these young black kids, the young black kids and the young guys and everything, about as intimidating as it gets. And I was like, yo, if I can ball against this guy, I'll make it work.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we do not say that. She called us on. She called me on a curse. Yeah, she called me. Okay, I'm sorry, baby. Okay, you're right. We don't say that.
That's funny. Yeah.
Okay, you got it. Okay.
So Rocky, so he's 2 years above me. Rocky in high school, and then he's a year below my brother. Rocky, when he started, he was just a skinny.
That's what I heard.
Strong safety.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
And by the time he got to Notre Dame, I remember seeing the same thing because I'd see him on TV. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, enormous. Well, you say, yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That's on me.
Tell him, say, we don't say that.
Okay,
Yeah,
still,
see?
no more.
You
no
like
more,
that?
No more swearing from me.
I'm going to have her here for every podcast.
This is great, yeah.
So you guys,
We
definitely need her.
She's going to sit there for all your podcasts to just be the
We need you to monitor.
language monitor. Okay, Bubba.
Do you want to do that? You want to be our language monitor when we say bad words?
Let them
She's
know.
the FCC.
Yeah, for real. That's
she's
it.
the podcast FCC.
She could be in a whole nother room in the back of the house. If she hears you, she's going to come running up to you and say, hey, we don't say that. So there you go.
I like the serious look on her face.
She don't play, man.
She doesn't mess around.
My booker doesn't play.
So do you have any regrets about going to Notre Dame? Or?
No, not at all. I learned how to be a man in regards to good. Okay. I learned how to be a man. I know, baby. It's okay.
I know.
It's okay. It's not that hot. We're sitting right here.
Yeah, we got the fan, though.
Yeah.
You want me to put the fan at you?
Oh, good. So I learned how to be a man in regards to what I believe to, be a man in regards to responsibility and ownership. And I don't know, honestly, if it had to do with Notre Dame, but I was just put in a particular situation where I owned up about my career. I owned up about the responsibility of cool. What was I willing to take on? I'm big on not blaming coaches, not at the end of the day, ball out.
Yeah.
It's not my job to complain about the lineman that I had. It's not, as a running back, my job is to run. Not to worry about who's blocking, not to worry about this, not to worry about my quarterback, not to worry about my defense. My job is to run. Whether they block or not, my job is to run. And so in my career, I used to always say that it's what's up? Okay, what's up? What's up? All right. Add on to that. Keep adding on. Okay, keep going. Add on. Keep going. But draw a little more. I'm almost done. So okay, all of them. Go. So I'm trying to lost my train of thought.
But you're saying how you take full responsibility.
Oh yeah, so I take full responsibility.
You run the ball.
I don't
blame the O-lineman, quarterbacks,
I don't regret
coaches.
any aspect of it. I met some phenomenal people, my best friends, my brothers, and that I worked with every day. I sweat, I bled with, I peed. we in the locker room every single day. We worked really hard together for a common goal. I became my brothers. And so I met some really awesome people and great relationships, and I was able to network and do some really good things because of it. So I don't regret it at all. I really appreciate it. I learned time management. I learned expectation. I learned and just reinforced that life is not fair. It doesn't matter. Just get it done. Plain and simple. And in the same breath, if I had to do it all over again, I would not do it. I would not go there. Doesn't take anything away from Notre Dame or anything like that. I just wouldn't go there, because even more reinforcing what I thought about the fact that I didn't plan on staying 4 years regardless. And you put into perspective where my goals were and what I wanted to do. If I go to Ohio State, relatively speaking, I believe I go top 2 rounds, just based upon what they do for big backs and the supporting cast and the machine that they have rolling and prioritizing certain aspects. I think Notre Dame has always had this issue between administration and athletic department of prioritizing football. The conversation is they're not on the same page. So they act like they want to win, but they're not willing to do certain things to win. You can look at other programs and say, oh, they're willing to do certain things to win. This is why that Ohio State thing that just happened with Urban Meyer is a little interesting. But
you think he'll be fired though, right?
It's funny. I've only heard from a couple things from my friend who is pretty involved in the college recruiting world. I have a friend who runs a recruiting service down in Florida, and he's either the second largest or third largest, and he's pretty involved. He has a really good relationship with a lot of coaches. And he actually played for Urban.
Okay.
At Notre Dame. He was a year above me. So Urban left the year before I got there. So they know Urban pretty well. So it'll be interesting to see. From what I've heard from him, yeah, I think they might, if they find out what it looks like, they know that he was privy to some information.
Sure.
That, with everything that's going on now,
with the Me Too age, man,
everything
you're
that's
done.
going on, yeah, he's in a rough situation, and which is interesting because I did think that you're talking about a coach that has won a lot of games and has done a lot for Ohio State, so if they're willing to let him go,
it must have been pretty bad.
Not that I don't know. I'm not going to go that far.
Sure.
I just know that the space they're in right now, they're prioritizing that.
Yeah.
That regardless of how bad it is, this is something that it's very sensitive and it's very legitimate that everybody knows you can't play around with that. And
yeah, I mean, I'd put him right when I'd put him and Saban as the top two college coaches.
Oh yeah,
for what they've done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you talked about you struggling with being a student athlete. We were talking about you being at Notre Dame, the struggles of going to class, being on the schedule where you're not treated as a particularly special thing there, as opposed to others.
Yeah, just recognize that the it's different.
You're a student athlete.
Yeah.
Where we talk about programs like Alabama, Florida State, Ohio State, and we've heard all the stories. Not only is it less difficult to get in there, and would school be less difficult at some of those places if you were just a student, but then a lot of these places, we've heard the stories, they're not even actually going to class. They're working hard to make sure some of these kids don't have to go to class. Seems to me that's like a pretty unfair thing to then say, hey, you guys are all now competing for the same trophy. Is college athletics in general broken, and is there a way to fix it? And is there another option for, a kid who wants to be in the NFL or the NBA besides going through that? Or should we come up with one? It's a multi-level question, but you went to Notre Dame. You got all the answers.
Let me hold on a second. I see where this is going. Still, stay over there for a second, okay? Still, don't come over here, okay? Just stay over there because I need. Nope. No, you need to let me finish talking, okay? Let me. This is the last time you're gonna come over here, though. All right, show me real quick, because now I'm getting tired. Come on, show me fast. You're killing them. That's another sun?
A pink sun?
Is that a pink sun?
No, it's not.
See? Okay, I knew it. What do we got here? Is that a clock?
A lion?
What is it? It's a clock? I thought it was some sort of a clock. Where are the numbers, though? But those aren't real numbers. You know how to write numbers. Pretending. Oh, okay. Okay, I like that. Just pretending. Okay, I'll take that. All right, no more. Let me finish. So, yeah. Well, first of all, the NCAA is a mob. They're the largest mob, one of the largest mobs in the world. So right off that, I'm kind of anti-NCAA. And I think that, yes, the model is super flawed. It's crazy. They are not amateur athletes. It is what it is. They are student athletes, but they're not. You can't. Like, it is what it is. They go to school, yes, but to say that they are totally amateur athletes, it's disrespectful. And is it just like, it's just not. It's so absurd. And you really, the reason why you watch them is because they're very elite.
Right.
It's just so dumb. Like, in the conversation,
Again,
I'm like,
it's
are you
the
kidding
cream
me?
of the crop.
Yeah,
Again,
like, what are you
like
talking about? This is why you go to see them. This is why so many people go watch them, because they're very, 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 very high end. People aren't going. You don't see 100,000 people going to watch Division III teams. Yes,
even Division I volleyball.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You know why? Because this is not it is what it is. So, I think the model at some point in time will have to change. My thing is, like, the more people show, the more the NCAA does these things, I'm hoping that enough people say, you know what, fuck it. the thing about football right now, there's not enough people that feel like there's another platform for them to play, for them to actually show their craft off. Now, you have, this could be in the league and in the NCAA, if enough people, and there are people who have issues with what the NFL is doing, with what the NCAA is doing, but clearly it's not enough for them to say, you know what, I value football, I don't value the NFL. I value football, I don't value the NCAA. I'm going to start my own. I value this enough to create a platform for kids and for opportunities to do it on, because there would be kids who said, you know what, I'm gonna try and go this route as opposed to doing this. Yes, it's gonna be more difficult. It's gonna be harder. It might be a step back. But if people were willing to say, you know what, fuck the NCAA, sorry, sweetie, like, or F the NFL, whatever it may be, let's do it this way. You got dudes, and these are all black folks. But guess what? Jay-Z, Diddy, Oprah, Tyler Perry. I'm trying to think of who else is like in that space that has a lot of money. Who's worth mega? Whatever. No, all those people.
Sure.
They could definitely say, you know what, Cap? You know what all the rest of these guys do?
Yeah. We're gonna start our own.
We'll start our own thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? We'll be able to pay you a couple. We won't be able to pay you the mega, but we'll be able to pay you. You're big enough of a name, but we'll get support. And what will happen to this community that's supporting them from Jump Street, we'll want to support them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And yes, it'll be a little harder. It's the same thing. Like, you know,
kind of like what LeVar Ball's doing, but actually work.
I was going to say, yes.
Yeah.
And I was going to use him as an example that, like, at the end of the day, nobody thought what he's doing, yeah, it's falling out, and a lot of it is based around how Lonzo performs and how his sons play regardless, because his structure is based around what he did for them. So it's like, well, if he did it for them, if it works for that aspect, yeah, then he'll be able to do a lot of other things. But he's doing it. Yes, there's going to be bumps in the road and everything like that, but he's actually doing it on his own. He's, you know what I mean?
Sure.
He's actually creating something other that people can say, you know what? Yeah, it might not be as clean, but at least it's not them. Like, I'd rather play in this than be with this shit. Like, for my soul, you know what I mean? Like I said, for me to sleep at night, I'd rather do with this. Yeah, I took this route. And that's what he's saying. Like, people have an issue with him. Like, yeah, it's crazy. There's some hypocritical aspects very much about what he does. But in the same breath, I'm not mad at what he's doing in regards for his children, teaching that the good things. Yeah, some of the stuff I think is ridiculous. In regards, it's not something, but I can't hate on all of it, by no means, because there are aspects about it in regards to, like, creating your own and not feeling like you have to either go this route or this route. So yeah, I kind of wanted all the. I'm not an anarchist,
right?
But I'm okay with if it was to be dismantled. You know what I mean? Because I think that's the natural order for how things are built up, and you know, like anything, when anything becomes popular too much, it needs to be destroyed because it goes in a direction that now it doesn't serve the people. It's not really about the people. It becomes about this. Okay, man, let it go whichever direction it's going to go.
You know, when we had you on last time, I know you were back and forth between out here on the East Coast. You're involved in a lot of different things. You got a place. You got a cafe, coffee shop in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
How much? Because I know
AP
a lot
Cafe.
of times athletes go one of two ways. They either like, I can't get away from it. I'm going to be in broadcasting. I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to do whatever.
Yeah.
How involved are you in sports in general still, whether it be the NFL or just following the NBA?
I'm not really. Like, social media allows you to actually be involved, but not really be involved.
Yeah.
I didn't watch one NBA game this year.
You didn't watch one?
Not one. But I swear that I knew everything.
Right.
Just off of my Explore page on Instagram.
You saw the highlights.
I feel like I've seen. I can tell
wild.
you. Ask me. I feel like I can tell you
beefs,
everything that's going on in the NBA. Everything. Didn't watch one game.
Well, that's funny because you would think off social media, you would think LeBron James is the worst player of all time. He's the worst human being.
Yeah.
Because God knows what all these idiots out there like to say on all these.
Yeah, they
platforms.
always like to. It's
Dude,
absurd,
you're lucky
man.
you basically missed this.
I don't even feed into any of that.
I mean,
man.
how many people tweet at you thinking you're Ryan Grant, the receiver?
Oh, you're told. Yeah, I think you guys saw some of that. You guys didn't catch the real. So I've been getting that for years. I don't know if I told you, but let's keep it in perspective. Washington sent me a check.
What?
How is that even possible?
Wait.
I got 2 checks from them.
One
check was actually mine, and it had his address.
I'm gonna change my name to Tom Brady.
And the other check was actually his. It was his bonus check.
The Washington Redskins
Yeah.
sent you a check in the mail.
Yeah. I almost went public with it, just to like kind of almost like tweeted it and like posted it to kind of like. But I was like, what's the point? Yeah.
Oh, you should have.
You should have just cashed and been like, I thought I played for Washington. CTE, it's crazy.
So wait, this is the same league who's like, you better stand up for that flag. But it's that same person who has these huge opinions. They don't even know how to mail this. My head's gonna explode. Like I can't.
Yeah, because we have the same name.
You're the same name. Big deal. Like
I know. So I can't work it out. So
what did you do? Like, okay, so take me through this.
What
do you mean? I got a check. I got a thing that I know what checks look like. So I was like, oh shoot, okay.
So you get a check.
I opened the check, and I knew the first one. I knew that they owed me a check. It was severance. So when I was there, I was only there for a month. And then when they cut you, they give you a severance check.
Sure.
So I got released and then signed back with Green Bay. But once I retired, you file for all your stuff, whatever. Yeah. And they sent me the check. So I knew it was a check. And then when I looked at the information, I was like, this has his address on it. So I called my team, like my agent, and I was like, yo, I know they owe me this, blah, blah, blah. And I called my financial team, and I was like, they owe me this. And I was like, but it has his information on it. So they went through the thing, and it turned out, no, this is mine. They just put the wrong information down. They put his information down. So I was like, really? Like, come on, folks. So then there's that. Then you have, and I'm trying to remember how long it was after that I got his check. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I don't know. And then I saw what it was for. Like, at the end of the year, they give guys performance checks based upon not bonus checks based upon how you perform. It's really the pool of how many plays you play.
Okay.
So, and I don't even know if they still do it, but I think they do. But so basically, if you're a 7th round draft pick or a free agent and you play,
right,
you start the entire season.
Yeah.
Your contract is not going to be relative to what you really should have earned. Because you're playing more than what you should, based upon your contract. They don't expect you to play. So there's a pool of money that you get. And like my first year in Green Bay, it basically doubled my salary. I think I had like $300,000, something like that. You know what I mean? Because I ended up playing like a first rounder. You know what I mean? The amount of plays I was on the field.
Sure.
So, any quarterback, they expect the amount of money you play, you should play every single play. So you get nothing. They get the least amount of money at the end of the year because it's like literally I think Brett got like $10. Something stupid. So I think that's what it was, but it was like, I don't know, like $40,000, something like that. And I remember being like, yeah, then there's other issues that I gotta deal with potentially.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to.
It's not like Monopoly.
Yeah. It's not like wait, what? I don't even know what you're talking about. They'd be like, nah, guess what? You're going to jail. So I do that. But it's stupid, man. People make mistakes.
Are you watching NFL games at all?
Not really, dude. Like, I'm gonna keep it real now. Like, it's to me, it's even, and this is what I say, it's even easier to not watch games because it's so in your face, and now because of social media, I keep abreast between Twitter and between Packer fans, Twitter, and like Instagram, and I guess even Facebook.
And you definitely know how the Redskins are doing because they're
gonna pay me. Yeah, I'm still because I'm still involved absolutely on that aspect. Of course, it's easy to kind of, to me, it's easy to not watch because I'm still kind of in the know.
Right.
I just don't really have a desire.
See, Andy, this is what I'm going to do this year. I'm just going to follow everything on Twitter, not watch the games.
like it'll pop up.
Yeah,
like it'll
here's,
show.
Here's the difference. You and I host 90-minute to 2-hour podcast twice a week.
So you got to know what.
I'm saying I can follow it off
you
my
could,
page.
You could. You could. We'll see.
That'll be great for our numbers.
Yeah, well, that might show off a little bit.
Yeah.
That you don't know.
I'm
limited.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I want your opinion. Should Joe watch the games?
Joe should watch the games.
Hold
on, no, I didn't finish my thought.
Yeah.
Joe should watch the games if he wants to know detail. Yes. Like, I can be honest and say, hey, I don't know specifics. And then you can ask, and I can give my knowledge based upon what people tell me. Like, so for instance, when certain things happen, I have a bunch of group chats where my boys will be like, yo, what about this? And I'll be like, I don't really know. Brief me, you know what I mean, on what's going on. And then I can say, oh, well, this is it. This might be this. And then I'll do my little research and find something out. But overall, I just don't care enough to actually be in it because I don't really want to get involved with the bureaucratic aspect of many, and I already know that a lot. It's all bullshit. So all it's gonna do is just make me. Why make myself frustrated about it?
Yeah.
And it's cool. Like, yes, it doesn't take away from my appreciation of the athleticism. It doesn't take away from my appreciation of the skill and the hard work of what these guys are doing. Like, they know.
Sure.
Like, I can talk to Clay, and when I talk to Clay, I'm like, yo, how you feeling? I know what you're doing. Yo, let's work. When I talk to Aaron, like, it's all good game-wise and everything like that. And I want to make sure they're good at this point. Like, I don't really care about it. Everybody knows. We always talk about the longer you play in the league.
Yeah.
The reason why guys stop playing when they choose to play is because they get tired of the NFL.
Right.
And I'm not necessarily, we love football. We love playing football.
Yeah.
We get tired of the stuff that comes along with the bureaucratic aspect of having to do this, of the dotted lines, of this, blah, 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 of the red tape, the crap that comes along with the business of the NFL. It's like, yo, you guys are full of it, right? Didn't say it. And so, yeah, I'm good on all that. Like, I already know what it is. You want me to have a conversation about the Packers? I can have a conversation about the Packers. You want me to have a conversation about football? We can have a conversation about football because I know football and I love football. And I always love football. I just don't like the NFL.
Yeah.
Right.
I just don't, you know what I mean?
You
know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that I don't love football. I just don't like the NFL.
I'm right here with you.
Yeah, so I just don't like what. So I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm good on all that. And that's it. I can still have a conversation about it. Like, I have no problem. I'm going back to Green Bay this year. They're doing certain things, and I'll make sure that I know why I'm going back there, and I'm gonna appreciate it. I want my child to my daughters have no reference for me.
Yeah.
As a football player, I don't really care too much about it, but I think I'm in a space now. I enjoyed playing for the Packers. I enjoyed the family aspect of it, so I want them to see certain aspects of it. I know it's very different now. It's to some degree, it's a lot more corporate, but I do want them to see certain aspects of it. Even just Green Bay. So I'm gonna bring them back. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
And then
like, even though you don't watch, is that are you rooting, like, if you're going into the year, you're like, I hope the Packers win the Super Bowl? Is that, are you like,
it doesn't matter to me. I would like the Packers to do well. I would like the Packers to win games because I still have a relationship too with some of the guys, and and I want guys to be healthy and have good careers. I want everybody financially. I want everybody to win.
Right.
Financially.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em. I want everybody to win. Everybody in the NFL, make as much money as you can. Now. Immediately make as much money as you can. Hold out. Everybody hold out every year if you can. Do whatever you need to do to get your money every single year. Everybody. I'm putting that on camera. Everybody in the NFL, get as much money as you can. I want everybody to win from a financial stance. I don't care who wins from a team stance. I want everybody to be as healthy as possible so that they can, because I know. Because at the end of the day, you're changing. No, because at the end of the day, no, I don't know. No. They already know. I know guys know who they are, Chief Shot, but I'm cool. I'm over all that. But I also know that at the end of the day, the amount of money that these guys have the possibility to make. Stop, Stilly. Thank you. The amount of money that these guys have the ability to make potentially can change lives.
Sure.
Go get it.
Get paid.
Go get it. Get your money so you don't have to fuck with the NFL.
Yeah.
Do it. Get your money so you can literally say, I'm good, fuck you. Get out. Do whatever you need to do. I don't care whether that means you play 10 years, whether that means you play 4 years and hold out every year. Like I had a player on my team that literally held out like 4 years in a row for a new contract. I'm with that.
Yeah, because, I mean, you see
don't
guys
care.
Like, yeah.
I don't care. Like, some people say, what? Blah, blah. I don't care. Value-wise, he performed. He feels like it. Because guess what? Nobody's deserving of anything, and you're only worth it if they pay you.
Sure.
So at the end of the day, people used to say, what? He's not worth it. If they gave it to him, guess what? He was worth it.
Yeah.
You think I was worth $30 million off of 7 games? No, I'm serious. I wasn't. I played, and when I mean I wasn't, like, based upon what other value
Sure. Well, we say that
over
all the
other
time.
standard was
We say that
I
all the
played
time
in
about-
I played in 9 oh, that was his 7 in 9 games. And I ran for almost 1,000 yards, you know, and I was number 2 in the league behind Ladane or something when I came in. But there was no other standard that literally had me that they would
to give you
like
$30 million.
to give me $30 million off of a 4-year deal. Nothing, no standard. And my agent had talked to other GMs and was like, "Oh, you're phenomenal, Allen. You got him paid. He wouldn't have played football if he played for our team. He just wouldn't have played this year." And you know what? Cool. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Like, I knew what it was, and I believed it was this, and my agent did believe, and there were moments we were like, I don't know if this shit's gonna work, but fuck it. I knew what they were trying to do. They wanted me to wait a year or 2 years, that then they would say, oh, he's this much older. I'm gonna be this. I saw what it was. I was like, nah, yo, it's gotta happen now. I was like, because I don't know what's gonna happen. Blah, blah, blah. We got a new quarterback coming in. Aaron's the real deal, but nah.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm gonna ride all this. And that's what, okay, it's a business. Guess what? They're doing it top down. They have no problem ripping it up and saying, with this. This is absurd what happened with Le'Veon Bell. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But it's not surprising. It's not surprising at all. At all. Steelers don't give a shit. They don't care.
What do you make of the Gurley deal?
It's good.
Yeah, right.
It's good for Gurley, and it's good for the rest of the backs. Doesn't help Le'Veon.
Sure.
Le'Veon's
okay, yeah.
Like, Le'Veon's still, like, you know what I mean? Fuck him. Because at the end of the day, everybody could, like, you know, pay the dudes. This is my thing. I'm looking forward to the first dude who, like, fuck you, I want equity. Aaron Rodgers to be that guy.
Yeah.
Equity.
Because of the amount, yeah. Like, I don't know if it'll happen.
Right.
And I'm sure, like,
I'm sure there's something even set up to make sure it can't happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Because, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what am I bringing? Connor changed the game in a lot of stuff. His talks with, you know, UFC and everything like that.
Sure.
Back up, baby, because you're blocking.
Back like 1 foot up.
Boom, my mama. There you go. Thank you, baby. Thank you.
And we'll be done. We're about to do plugs. We're about to do that. And we'll be all finished.
Yes. What's up, baby? Right there. I know. We're getting ready to leave in a little bit. And you can take a nap in the car, okay? I'm going to leave. Okay, a few minutes, okay? Grab daddy's phone, watch a little something else, and we're almost done, okay? My girl. Phone's on the bed. Do it. Yes, you do. Turn it on. Okay. Well, show me how to turn on. You know how to do it, baby. Stop acting like that.
You know, you just talked about Aaron Rodgers, and you're like, he should be the guy that gets equity. Probably my
to
biggest,
some degree, Tom Brady too.
Yeah,
that's from a biased stance.
Probably my biggest issue in being in sports media. I'll say sports media loosely right now as a podcaster, but is this idea that the best players are the ones who are a part of a championship team, like that the single player getting judged by how his team success is. Like Aaron Rodgers is a great example. To me, it's Aaron Rodgers and then literally everybody else, including the Tom Brady's, including the Carson Wentz, the Jared Goffs, the Russell Wilsons, all of them. To me, he's clearly the best, and he has won. And so people are like, oh, overrated. Like, to me, as an athlete, what is it like when you guys hear stuff like that?
Whatever.
You guys don't even think about
like,
it. I mean,
I don't. I say I do. Yeah, there's certain guys that, of course, clearly play into that and really are sensitive in that regard. I get it. Understandably, like, you know, Aaron's sensitive, and it's not a knock about him. It's actually probably what makes him so good. Maybe with Kevin Durant as well. You know what I mean? It's like part of his fuel, you know. Aaron's phenomenal. Yes, people, you can say whatever, and it's quote unquote unfortunate that he only has one Super Bowl appearance. It's unfortunate. You know, when we were there, we had squads. Like, it wasn't even close. We had squads of, like, we used to literally do it. We could go line to line and look at each position and be like, we're just better at every position than these guys. Yeah. But in some regard, we relied on particular things. Offensively, we no offenses were better than us. They didn't have guys that were better than us. Like maybe only the Saints had like dynamic offenses like we did. But it doesn't matter. You got to get it done. Defensively, we were giving up a lot of points, and we were relying on scoring so many points. We would go into games and say we want to score 40. Now this is the NFL. We're not talking about. we're talking about the NFL playing against guys who are other All Pros and other really good, phenomenal players who get paid their job and expecting to score 40. We were playing the Broncos one game in 2011. And at halftime, I don't know, you guys can fact check this. At halftime, we were
trust me, the
up
internet
like
will.
we were up 24-something or 34-something. I mean, 34 like 6 or 34-7. Like we were blowing them out. Like
yeah.
At halftime, we go in and we come inside, and Mike is screaming at us like, we should be kicking their ass by blah, blah, blah. We're not doing this. Blah. And guys are like laughing, and we get it because legitimately we should have been. But I looked to one of the rookies and I said, take note of this. You're never going to see this. Where we're blowing a team out in the NFL at halftime and we're still getting screamed at. This is where I'll let you know the expectation of what we expect for us and where we are as a team. I was like, because you're not going to see that. Like, it's hard to score number one in the NFL, and it's hard to win.
Sure.
So, you know what I mean? And especially we're blowing the team out. Yeah. We're blowing this team out, and it's like not good enough. And I think we did. We won like 48-something or 50, whatever it was, but it was just let you know, like, we almost felt like we did. We not almost. We felt like the only team can stop us is us. Now, we did know that if we get stopped, if a team does on any given Sunday stop us from scoring 30, oh, man. Because we do know we felt like our defense was going to give up points. So it was like, damn, if a team scores, if we can't score 30, shit, we're going to be in a dogfight. There's a really good chance we could lose. And that's what happened. The team that did beat us, they were able to stop us from scoring. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. You said, you joked about maybe not earning $30 million with your 9 games. But I think you're giving it back by earning $30 million as a podcast guest. You're a $30 million podcast guest.
Hopefully my career, I did enough. I'm top 5 all time, so they'll have to put me in at some point in time. So career-wise, I think I did enough to earn the money.
Yeah.
We'll do all right.
I'm telling you, I told you this via text message when we first connected months ago. You'd be great at hosting your own podcast.
Yeah, set it up for me.
Yeah.
Work it out.
Dirty Sports Podcast.
I got a lot
Network.
going on, man.
Yeah, you going to join the Dirty Sports Network? Because we're branching out into more shows.
If you, let me know. We could definitely talk. I'm okay.
You got your co-host over here.
I know. My little mama would be good with it. Yeah.
At this point.
I know. She's getting real comfortable. But
right in time for the show to be over and you.
Exactly. That's how it goes. Yeah. Right when we're ready to go, then she gets comfortable. But yeah, it's funny. I'm sure at some point in time I will.
Arian Foster's podcast is huge.
I've heard no, I haven't. Interestingly enough, I haven't. I like Arian. I think he's an interesting guy.
Yeah, I do too. We'd love to have him on here. I listen to him on. I've listened to his show. I've also listened to him when he went on Joe Rogan, and I thought it was a great interview.
Oh yeah, I like Arian. He's an interesting guy, man. There's some similarities in many of the way that he thinks about things. But
which is outside the box, and that's why we love you. Because
try not to even let there be a box. I just think, So, and sometimes it's in the moment. Sometimes it might. It's like I said, it's all hypocritical. We're all one big fucking hypocrites. We're sitting in here doing a fucking podcast.
Right.
So how comfortable? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like this is you're able to talk about shit.
Yeah.
People actually just want to hear you talk about shit. This is really unimportant. Yeah. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's all relative. So it's cool.
Go to the beach. So
exactly. And you're going to go to the fucking beach, man.
Yeah.
And when we get down here, you're going to go surf. You're going to go to the beach.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do, man?
Talk about shit they don't want to hear.
Well, change that.
Yeah.
Change that. Actually, you know what? Talk about shit you want to fucking talk about. You know what? Like I said, that'll weed out the people who want to be on the dates with you.
Yeah.
Fuck it, man.
Man, it's just these. I've just had so much bad experience lately on these apps, man.
Really? Well, what apps do you use?
Bumble, Tinder.
Okay, see, I don't know. I don't use them, so I don't know. But I've heard Bumble's pretty strong.
It is, but
okay, well, hold on, real quick. So like I know there's like there's an understanding. Yeah, you got to school me. I don't mind if you want to put your business out, but you got to school me on.
Dude, I put it all
Okay,
out
okay,
there
cool.
anyway.
So everybody knows if you're looking for a particular X, Y, and Z, you go to a particular app. So what are the apps known for?
Well, I'd say when Tinder first came out, it was all hookup.
Okay.
Like, it was good to me.
It was good. Okay,
like
yeah, it
first
was a
date,
good life. Boom.
Let's just get this dinner out of the way and let's come back here and handle my business.
Okay, cool.
But lately, it goes in waves for me. Lately on Bumble, the girls aren't looking like the pictures. Or I'm learning, like, you got to look at the angle they're taking that. And see, kind of like, you know how there's a learning curve for sports or anything.
Yeah.
Left in January and All-Pro, came back to camp a little bit overweight.
Yeah.
Got that new deal.
Whoa, how old is this pick?
I'm learning I mean, I met a girl last week. I wanted to just hold up my phone and say, yo, this isn't fucking you.
Really?
And it was like, it messed with me so much. I went home.
Like on some catfish shit?
But no, not catfish, but it's just like, she was a little thicker. She just looked, it's not even about the thing. Like, it's not about maybe being a little heavier. She just looked different.
You could say it. Was she fat?
No, I wouldn't say call her fat, but she
just didn't look good.
She didn't look
she didn't look like they claimed in the picture. Yeah, she was working the angle.
I went home and I studied her photos after the date, and I was like,
you were mad at yourself? Were you?
What did I do wrong here? What happened?
Well, to be fair, you show up on dates with like lines in your head and stuff like that. You don't have that in your pictures.
Yeah, well, I don't have the lines right now, but yeah, whatever. Like, you know, that's the thing. But my photos are relatively within a time frame. Like, they're new photos.
You're not trying to get over. Yeah, you're not like trying to swindle.
Photos in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
Like this
from
3 years
like
ago.
yeah, you're not putting a photo from like your high school days.
Yeah.
You know?
So I don't know what again, this goes for both men and women. So it's like, I don't know what that end game move is. Oh, you show up, you think I'm just gonna be cool with this? No, you don't look like who you are. We've started off,
no, you don't.
We started off on the wrong foot.
You're a totally different fucking person.
Yeah,
no.
we started off on the wrong foot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to be hanging out with a liar.
But most relationships are built on lies, unfortunately.
Ah.
They're built on the fact of, yo, who do you want me to be? This is what happens. You go out on a date and you say, what are you into? What do you like? Because I'm going to act like this. What do you want to do? As opposed to saying, yo, this is what I'm into. This is why. You will go on a date?
Yeah.
What do you like to do?
What I like to do?
Yeah. What do you like to do?
Love to go to the beach.
Cool.
Love to
you know what you
do?
do?
Volleyball.
Go on a date. Say, yo, someone go on a date. Cool. I'm going to be playing beach volleyball. Come meet me in beach volleyball. You know what that does? It'll weed out the girls who don't want to play beach volleyball with you. And you know right away, well, shit, this ain't going to work regardless because this is what I want to do. So what you want to do is you want to live your life with somebody who wants to share those things with you. If they don't want to, that's cool. Like, that's fine. We're not wasting each other's time.
Sure.
But opposed to saying like, oh, we're going to go meet here and do this. Like, I don't really want to fucking do this shit in the porn.
You should just make your Bumble profile say, who wants to watch Shark Week and go to
word. No, seriously. I guarantee you, first of all, everybody wants to watch Shark Week. So first of all, so you'll get
this
so
dude
many.
over here. We got a huge argument.
I say Shark Week's overrated.
Listen, it is to me. I'm not a Shark Week guy, but I can understand how everybody.
I want to watch Ryan Grant highlights. I don't
everybody
wants to
watch Shark
Week. Actor pretending to be Ryan Grant.
It's not Shark Week's not like that, Prano.
Like, listen. So I'm saying this is you'll get.
But you're right.
And you're in LA. Are you kidding me?
No, you're right.
You could be a unicorn hunter, and you'll find people that are into it.
You didn't think about staying in the Midwest after you were done with football?
Nah.
Just wanted to get that one out there because we've had attacks from the Midwest the last couple of days.
Why?
Just because we made a joke about I made a joke about Ohio.
From Ohio.
Oh yeah.
We take digs
back up, back up, baby. You got to back up, sweetie.
We take digs at it, and we just noticed how people are so this pride.
Yeah.
My whole family lives back there. I have 4 brothers.
Yeah.
They're all married. They all got kids. My parents are still back there. But this weird pride of like, Ohio's not bad. It's like, dude, we live next to the beach. Yeah, like, of course I'm in a smaller apartment. I could have a 4-bedroom house for what I pay in rent.
You didn't think about getting a 20-roomer in Wisconsin and just going.
Now you want to hear? I had a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom, 3-floor place in Green Bay. I paid $1,100 a month.
$1,100 a month.
Yeah,
that
was expensive.
That's less than this studio apartment /
podcast
studio.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Unreal.
It was great, man. I had a full basement. Like, it was crazy. But no.
Exactly.
No, I appreciated Green Bay and I appreciate the Midwest very much so, and I still do. I appreciate the lifestyle. I appreciate the simplicity. I appreciate but no.
But you got 30 million and you got to pick wherever you wanted to be, and here you are.
Yeah, and I'm here. And
your publicist is calling you.
I know. She's
so we'll wrap you up. Where can everybody follow you?
Oh, my Twitter is at Ryan Grant 25. My Instagram is a little differently. It's Blue Boy RG, but it's blue with EU, like blue cheese or something like that.
French blue.
Yeah, the French blue.
What's that? What's the significance of Blue Boy RG?
Blue is my favorite color. Always been.
Yeah.
Nice being a Giant for a minute.
Yeah, it's not because of the Giants. Come
on, give me one.
Listen, I got love for the Giants, man. I do, but it's not because of the Giants. It's just because I'm just trying to be a little different. So, Blue Boy RG, and everybody calls me RG. So, yeah, that's it. And then my Facebook is my regular name. I'm rarely on it, so don't contact me on my Facebook.
I gotta ask you something real quick. What's up with your Twitter? Because your Twitter, have you updated the Twitter app? Because you don't quote tweet people. It shows up funny on your.
Does it?
Yeah, it's.
He goes. You go old school retweet.
What is
where you write the people's RT? Do you write that out yourself?
No, I don't know. I'm on. Sometimes I use the app. Sometimes I use Twitter. I don't use the Twitter app very often. I use another app. I'll use what's it called?
That's why.
Like Hootsuite or something.
Yeah, I forgot one of the Twitter. Should I use just Twitter? Are people using just Twitter?
I'm gonna show you after we record because I'll show you how I would quote tweet something and then versus yours.
Mine looks wild old school.
Dude, yours is 2013, bro.
Oh shit! Okay,
but it's cool. It's kind of vintage.
Okay,
yeah,
it's like hipster Twitter.
Okay, cool.
It's great.
It's not quoting them. It doesn't do the quotes.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't shit. I can show you right now.
Yeah.
So let's say if
Twitter lessons with the great.
There we go.
Brewster.
All right.
King of Twitter.
Yeah, hook me up.
If I'm quote tweeting somebody, let's see if I quote tweeted somebody. So if I'm quote tweeting Joe, Joe wrote a tweet, that's actually his Ohio tweet.
Yeah.
See, when I quote tweet it, I can write on top.
Got you.
Does that make sense? And his tweet still shows up. I think when you're responding to somebody, let's see here. When you're responding to somebody, oh, you got it now. There it is. Up top, yours is good there.
Let's see some other ones.
Maybe some older ones. There you did it there too.
All right, Andy. Well, you're not you're not doing too well. I'm two for two on the.
But you must have changed it because Joe and I saw it. You must have changed it. Did he change it, Joe?
I don't know. I'm getting my Instagram going right here while you guys are.
I just retweeted this.
Yeah.
Retweeted my.
Well, hold on. There it is. There it is. See what I'm saying? On that tweet.
Oh, so it's not actually showing the.
So instead of "Why are you in town?" somebody tweeted at you.
I'm here to take somebody's job.
It says retweet. Does that make sense?
That's old school. Yeah, that's old school.
So you changed it. It looks like you changed it.
Nah, I probably tweeted this from a different app.
Yeah.
So that's how it goes.
Okay.
I'll change it back though. I'll make you. Or maybe I'll just keep it like both, man. Keep
it
a little go back from old school.
You do you.
Which way's the other Ryan Grant tweeting? That's what's important.
Fucking have. But yeah, look out. I don't know how he's playing. It's clearly he's not playing bad.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been hearing anything. Yeah. I'm looking for. Yeah, that's always interesting. I try to poke fun with those guys because they.
I always think it's hilarious.
It's so fucking ridiculous, dude. All you have to do is literally just look. Take 3 seconds and look at the picture.
Yeah.
I don't look anything like the guy.
Takes 2 seconds.
2 fucking seconds.
A lot of dumb people out there, though.
It's so crazy.
It's the same people that are still talking about the veterans and how it's
just people. That's stupid, man. But whatever. I appreciate it. And you know what? If I can. My whole thing is, I try to find humor in everything, man.
Sure.
Even when truth, my family calls it cracking, but facking. If you can crack a joke and still find it
come out to a comedy show sometime.
Let me know.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you guys got going on comedy-wise? I'll definitely come and, I think comedians are some of the most important people in this world.
Well, we'll let you know. Well, RG, it's always a pleasure, man.
Absolutely,
follow him on everything.
Yeah, let me know. Or don't. I don't know, whatever. I don't care. Who gives a shit?
Well, guys, thanks for listening to the show. And most importantly, don't forget, condoms are for pussies.
Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.